Okay, so I just thought I would hit a couple of trouble spots on this volume of prisms and cylinders worksheet, things that sometimes people have trouble with. Number 21 being one of those problems. So this problem looks really intimidating, but it's not that bad when you get into it. So what you have is you have a cube, a rectangular prism technically, that's 18 by 9 by 15. And then inside that rectangular prism, you have two cylinders, both that same height of 15 and a diameter of 9. So your strategy here is you're going to take the rectangular prism and you're going to subtract out two congruent cylinders, and that will be your answer, right? So this is area of the base times height. This one's 2 times pi r squared h, 2 times because there's two cylinders. So area of the base is going to be 18 times 9 times my height is 15. So that gives us 2430. And then the cylinder, we're going to do 2 times pi. Our radius we know would be 4.5 if our diameter is 9, and our height again is 15. So 2 times pi times 4.5 squared times 15 in our calculator comes out to be 1908.5. And we're going to add those together, and you should get 4,338.5 centimeters cubed for the empty space inside the box. Another one that sometimes gives folks trouble is number 29. What you have on this one is a cube. Well, again, technically not a cube. It technically is a rectangular prism plus a triangular prism on top. And so we're going to find the volume of those two things and add them together. Okay, so the dimensions of our rectangular prism are the 4, the 6, and the 4, right? So we know this is area of the base times height would be 4 times 6 times 4 for the height. So that's 96. And then for the triangular prism, again, it's area of the base times height. So that's 1/2 base times height is the area of a triangle base times the distance between my triangle bases, right? My bases are these two triangles in this triangular prism is this right here, or maybe you think of it as this right here, right? So your height of the prism, I'm going to go ahead and write in there, is 4 so that we don't confuse ourselves with the two H's. Okay, so as far as this triangle goes right here, finding the area of that base, excuse me, we have this number and this number would form the base and the height, so this would be 6. So that's going to be 1/2 base times height, so 1/2 I'm going to call 2 my base and 6 my height, times 4 for my height of my triangle prism, the distance between the triangle bases. So that 6 times 4 would be 24. And then when you just add those together, right? So that would be 120 meters cubed for the volume there. Okay, let's look and see if there's anything else. Oh, I saved these ACT problems just in case anybody had trouble with those. So a rectangular box is constructed from 10 square tiles, each of which has a perimeter of 24 centimeters. So if it's a square, 24 divided by 4, each side of my square is going to be 6. If the box is formed so that the tiles do not overlap, what is the volume of the box in cubic centimeters? Okay, so to me, the issue with this particular problem is not actually finding the volume of the box, it's figuring out how to arrange these 10 square tiles to even make a rectangular prism. So we already know from looking at nets that just like your traditional cube has 6 sides, right? So it's got to have more than 6 sides. and it has to be a rectangle, so I'm going to go for 2 cubes side by side. Let's see what that would look like. And then connect them in the middle. Okay, so we're talking about 10 square tiles. So technically I don't need this red one in the middle to make that rectangular box, right? So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. That was for the bottom, and then 5, 6 for the top, then 7, 8 for the front, and 9, 10 for the back. So that would be 10 tiles. In which case, if this was my rectangular prism, and so that means all the way across would be 2 tiles wide, which would be 12. It would be 1 tile deep, which would be 6, and 1 tile high, which would be 6. So we're really just talking about, for the volume of this prism, 12 times 6 times 6. Again, the intimidating part was figuring out how to even draw that rectangular prism. So 432 centimeters cubed. Okay, and then the last one that looks scary sometimes, but really is not that bad. After a snowstorm, city workers removed an estimated of 10,000 cubic yards of snow from the downtown area. If the snow were spread in an even layer over the entire rectangular football field shown below, about how many yards deep would the layer of snow be? Alright, so what we would have here is if it snowed, right, your snow would be in the form of a rectangular prism, right? Is what you would have for your snowfall. And so what we don't know is the height, but we know the length and the width. So volume of a rectangular prism is area of the base times height. We said it's 10,000 for the volume, and we know the area of the base is going to be 100. Oh, wait, though. It's 100 plus 10 yards at each end, so 120 total, times the 53.5 times good old H. We don't know what she is. So 120 times the 53.5 gives us 6,420. Okay, and that's times H. So to solve for H, to get H by itself, I'm going to divide by that 6420 on both sides. And it looks like it would be approximately 1.6 feet deep. So there you go. That's a lie. That's 1.6 yards, not feet. There we go.